Hello everyone, welcome to the JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel. As you know that the exam of PPB is just few hours away. So here we are in front of all of you to have a discussion on all the important topics which can be asked in the examination. Fine. The session's name is Chalish, the rapid revision as you know it. And when we talk about the efficacy of this session, it has been fruitful since the past 3 or 4 years whenever the students have watched this with a background of knowledge. Fine, whatever the background of knowledge you have, then it will be more fruitful. Fine, the marks will increase rapidly. So when we talk about this particular session, we'll be covering what? Let me just give you a brief. We will be covering the most important topics, and those topics they are being often repeated in the previous exam cycles. Along with that, we have also seen that certain updates have been there by the RBI. So those will also be included in this particular session, which are very important for our exam, which will be held after a few hours. Okay, so let's start our discussion with the basics. Very basic thing. Who is a customer? What all relationships are there between a bank and a customer? Because 1 to 2 marks questions are expected from this topic as well. So when I talk about a bank, the definition of a bank, when do we say that a particular entity is a bank? When? So as per the section 5 clause B of the Banking Regulation Act 1949, the term banking means simply accepting for the purpose of lending or investing deposits of money, or for that matter from the public, repayable on demand or otherwise, and can be withdrawn via check, draft, order or otherwise. So three keywords are there: accepting the particular amount, and then lending also that amount, and also freely withdrawing the amount. If you fall under this category, then you can be termed as a bank. When we talk about the other definitions where they are mentioned, so a company incorporated under ICA, that is your Companies Act 2013 also, it can be bank or a banking company. Under section 5 clause C of the Banking Regulation Act, we have seen that the banking company, it simply means any company that transacts the business of banking in India. Plus the section 7(1) talks about the prohibition. See, there are certain exceptions also which are important for the exam, and here in front of us is a prohibition to use the word of banker or banking in case of you are a company other than a banking company. If you are just a company, not a banking company, you cannot use these terms, right? Section 7 clause 2 further prohibits the use of such words by individual or group of individuals, or for that matter a firm. Then we talk about the Banking Regulation Act section 47. It simply clarifies the customer. Who is a customer? It includes government department and a corporation incorporated by or under any law. So government is also a customer of the bank. That is the thing which we must remember, right? Then we have the simple relationship between the bank and customer, bank being the creditor, customer being the debtor. Whenever the bank is providing some amount, fine, then it is the creditor, and when the bank is a creditor, customer will be a debtor. And when we flip the side, when the customer is depositing some amount, then the customer is the creditor, bank will be the debtor. After that, bank as a trustee, if you as a customer are entrusting a particular bank with certain services, then bank will act as a trustee, fine. So bank will be the trustee, you will be the beneficiary. Bailey-bailer relationship, a very important relationship. When we talk about bailing something, fine, it means what? It is being kept with you, that is why you are now bailing it. So here the bank is the bailee and customer is the bailer. What things are kept with the bank? When a customer deposits certain valuables, bonds, securities, other documents with the bank for the safe custody. And under which act it is mentioned? Directly in the Indian Contract Act section 148. Lessor lessee, bank will be the lessor, customer will be the lessee, and this type of arrangement is mostly seen in the lease setup. Fine, lease agreement will be there when we talk about the gold ornaments, or for that matter other valuables being kept in a locker. Fine, so locker we have bank as a lessor and customer will be the lessee. And when we talk about the important thing, if there is a loss caused to the items which are there in the safe locker of the bank, and the cause is intentional due to the negligence of the bank, then the bank will compensate a particular customer with the amount which is equivalent to 100 times the prevailing annual rent, whatever the rent the customer is paying. Then we have agent principal relationship, where the bank will act as the agent for you. Fine, as a customer, you will be the principal, bank will act as an agent to perform various activities on your behalf, be it the collection of check, electricity bill payment, telephone bills, like that. Then indemnifier, indemnified, a very important term. Bank is indemnified, or you can say the indemnity holder also, and the customer is indemnifier. Always remember the example. Via example, things become more clear. So when we talk about the transaction of issue of duplicate demand draft, fine, fixed deposit, receipt, etc. Here we will say that the bank is indemnified. It is the indemnity holder, that it is because of you, because of the customer, that we have to again issue one particular document, and that is why you have to pay us, the bank. Then we have a difference, basic difference between pledge, hypothecation and mortgage. Type of security, pledge is movable, hypothecation is also movable, and immovable type of security, you have which type of arrangement here? The mortgage. How you should remember? See, again, via examples things become more clear. So pledge, always remember the example as gold loan. For hypothecation, you will be having car or vehicle loan. Mortgage will be the housing loan. And when we talk about the possession, question can be asked on the possession also. For the gold loan or the pledge setup, you have the gold ornaments with whom? With the lender or with the borrower? With the bank itself. Fine. So it will remain with the lender. When you talk about hypothecation, car loan, it remains, the car remains with whom? With the borrower. Mortgage, you have the housing loan, and in India there is a single setup, like another countries we have in UK another setup also, but for India specific cases we will say that the ownership of the property remains with the borrower. So it usually remains with the borrower in case of mortgage. Fine. Apart from that, if you do not know these particular banker customer relationship, let me be very clear with you, 0.5 marker questions will be asked from this topic. So quickly, if you can just pause the video and see for yourself who will act as what. Here you will find the bank, here is the customer. Next, the important difference between deposit products or the services: demand deposit and time deposit. Demand deposit payable on demand, time paid after certain amount of time. Demand deposit, the rate of interest is low. Time deposit, as compared to this particular demand deposit, it is higher. Mostly it is thrice. Fine, that is the norm. Includes the current saving, overdue account, unclaimed deposits, the demand deposits. In time deposits you will find FD, RD, like that. Okay, then we have the services to the customers and the investors. Mostly the question is asked from the charge cards. What are the charge cards? Credit card, debit card, everybody knows. But a charge card is just electronic payment card where the card holder is not charged interest but needs the user to pay the balance due in full upon receipt of statement. Usually every month, high annual fee is there when you talk about charge card. That is the sole difference. The rate of interest is not there, but you have to repay instantly. Like here in credit card, what you do? You have certain amount, the minimum amount which you can pay, but in the charge card it is not there. Then from here, the most important one is the prepaid card. Prepaid cards, they are loaded with amount paid by the persons purchasing the card. So you always have a particular amount set in that card and you use it for a specific purpose only. After that, safe custody or trusteeship service. Here the trustee being the bank, beneficiary will be what? The customer, and that is a specific type of service also mentioned in the syllabus. Here one mention must be made to the escrow account. What is an escrow account? Such accounts are used when party wants to exercise some control on the use of the funds received in the account. Simply stated, if we have a setup where there is a buyer and a seller and the transaction amount is withheld with one of the party, definitely the seller must have the money, but the buyer is right now holding the money. So they mutually agree to open one escrow account where the from where the ultimate transaction will happen from buyer to the seller. Right? Then we have the next topic which is important, money laundering. The most important thing is here money laundering cycle. When we talk about the stages, first of all it will be the placement. So collection of dirty money, the dirty money will be placed, or you can say integrated into the financial system. Secondly, we have layering. So you make n number of transactions which are untraceable. You won't be able to trace the transactions because of the high volume, and ultimately you will do what? You will be integrating the same dirty money, the illicit funds, into the purchase of luxury assets. You will purchase some luxury assets, some financial investment, and it will do what? It will integrate all these funds into the legitimate economy. So these three steps: placement, layering, and integration, you must remember. If chronology is asked, PLI, fine, that you should remember. Then we have the stages of finance, terror financing. First of all, it will be raised, fine, the funds will be raised, stored, moved, and finally used for the terrorist activities. What is the framework of AML, anti-money laundering, in India? We have the FIU India, Financial Intelligence Unit India, and then we have the ED. It is the investigation and prosecuting authority for money laundering crime. Specifically for money laundering crime, we have CBI is also there, but not a specific, you can say, criteria is there to be met for the money laundering. But here in ED, it is the authority to investigate the money laundering crimes. Then we have special courts. There will be certain courts also set up for these purposes, and regulators will be also there. Fine, RBI, the regulator for the banks, will also be involved. Then sometimes SEBI will chip in when we talk about the securities market. Fine. So yes, that is how the framework goes. The more important thing is money laundering offense. What are the basic characteristics? First of all, sections are important. So section 3 of PMLA, it talks about the offense of money laundering. Fine, it has a clear-cut definition. The section 3, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Section 45, it stipulates that all the offences under the PMLA are to be deemed be cognizable and non-bailable. So always remember, cognizable as well as non-bailable offences these are. Section 4 of PMLA, it stipulates the punishment for money laundering offence, which is rigorous imprisonment for not less than 3 years but up to 7 years, and a fine of you can say as per the gravity of the offence. So if the question asks you for the journal cases, fine, in journal, what is the highest level of imprisonment, the number of years which you can get under the money laundering offence? So it is 7 years. But if specifically it is mentioned that if the crime is committed under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, then the maximum imprisonment tenure is 10 years. Okay, so always remember the difference. Next we have important definition, that is a customer, where it is defined. This definition has been adopted by RBI in the Master Direction KYC Direction 2016. A customer from KYC norms perspective differs in the traditional meaning of your customer. So traditionally we say customer is somebody who is participating in the depositing, or you, for that matter, raising loan, or it is integrating the money. But here for KYC, the difference is that it includes not just the person whose name the dealings are carried out with the bank, but also those who actually act for such persons. So the power of attorney also falls under the ambit of KYC. It covers not only the account holders, those having continued relationships, but also those who avail of any service on one-off basis. Even if you are not a continuous customer, continuous user of a particular banking service, still you will be known as a customer if you fall under the ambit of KYC norms. Then we have organizational setup for your AML, designated director, principal officer, and AML team. These three form the overall organization for the AML, the most important being designated director, the DD. See, he or she is responsible for overall compliance with the obligation of the bank as spelled out in PMLA section 11A, 12, 12A and 12AA. So the sections are very important. From here questions will be asked. Then we have the managing director or the whole time director, duly authorized by the board of directors if regulated entity is a company. Then who can act the particular as managing director? It is simply the WTD, the whole time director of a particular company, or for that matter the company must be regulated entity. Managing partner, if the RE is partnership firm. Proprietor, when we talk about the proprietorship concern. Managing trustee can act as a particular DD when we talk about the trust. Okay, so all these things you should remember. Next, when we talk about the obligation, so obligation simply under the international agreements. What about the sanctions list? See, RBI publishes various sanction lists. Why? So that the banks will be aware that you should not, you must not lend to such entity or the individuals who are included in that list. So the list is published by RBI for the 1988 sanctions list, which contains section A and B. A talks about the entities and B talks about the individuals. Fine. The individuals are in the section A and entities are there in section B, and they are associated with Taliban. Similarly, we have the list for Al Qaeda as well. Moving on, the FATF issues statements of current countries that do not or insufficiently apply for FATF recommendations, one in every 4 months. So this limit you should remember, 4 months is the limit. Financial Action Task Force, FATF. Then important aspect is the reporting obligation. Fine, reporting obligation, various reports we have. So starting off with the CTR, that is cash transaction report. But firstly, you should remember these are required to be submitted for each calendar month by 15th of the following month. Fine. So we are sitting in November. So for November month, the reports must be provided by 15th of December. Okay. So cash transaction report, CTR, cash transaction 10 lakh or more. CBWTR, the cross border wire transfer report, it is for 5 lakh or equivalent. Then we have NTR, non-profit organization report, for more than 10 lakh or equivalent. Then CCR, the counterfeit currency report, no you can say denomination or limit is mentioned. All the counterfeit currencies must be reported under your CCR, that is the norm. Then we have suspicious transactions report, STR. Very important is the timeline again. So the banks are required to report FIU India any suspicious transaction noticed by them within 7 days of establishing the suspicion. Fine. So you are suspicious, so within 7 days you must report. For reporting suspicious transaction, the value of transaction is not relevant. Again, for the counterfeit currency also, as well as for the suspicious transaction report, the value is not at all considered. Then we have the implications of non-compliance. So whether the banks will face any penalty from the side of RBI or not, answer is yes, it can. So they may issue the written warning to the banks or direct to take specific remedial measures. Also, the RBI along with the director of FIU India may impose monetary penalty with minimum of 10,000, maximum 1 lakh per violation. So always remember, penalty is also levied on the banks if they do not comply with the PMLA obligation. That is why they take it very seriously also, right? Then we have CIP, customer identification procedures. The most important one when we talk about KYC CIP, it is the limit. So if we talk about the transactions beyond 50,000, whether it is for the third party or for that matter a customer is conducting certain transaction, the limit you should remember is 50,000. Then for your OVDs, which of the following is an OVD? So we have passport, driving license, proof of possession of Aadhaar card, voter ID, job card, letter issued by the NPR, which is not included. PAN is not a OVD. Then we have the CDD procedures. Here also the most important thing is that the Aadhaar based KYC to be used only with written consent of the customer, must be redacted in the bank records, physical, electronic, retaining only the last 4 digits. That you should remember, only the last 4 digits should be displayed in your Finacle or for that matter CBS. Then the limits here in CDD, what all are important when we talk about the accounts of non face-to-face customers. So the aggregate balance cannot go beyond 1 lakh, and the aggregate credit over a period of time for the entire financial, it cannot exceed 2 lakh. When we talk about the 60,000 amount, that is the maximum loan amount you can have when you have opened the non face-to-face customer OTP based account, fine, for the KYC. Then we have proprietorship concern. The important aspect here are the documents. So RC, then we have the certificate of a particular proprietorship firm, and then sales and ITR, GST certificate. After that, IEC is also required while opening the account. Importer exporter code, others are fairly common. Then yes, for the companies, what are the important documents? There is certificate of incorporation. Then we have the MOA and AOA, Memorandum of Association and Article of Association. This question has been asked twice, that which of the following are mandatory when we talk about the accounts for a company, opening the account for a company. Resolution of Board of Director, power of attorney granted to its manager. So the designated professionals, for them, what are the limits? We will be looking into that also. Then we have the CDD procedure, how you should go by the other entities like societies are there. Then we have the panchayats. So here we have documents should show the name of the person who is authorized to act on the behalf of entire entity. So that document is mandatory. Here we have the beneficial owners. Fine. What is the threshold value for various beneficial owners? Type of constitution, if it is company, then 25% share in capital or profit must be there for that particular entity to be called as a beneficial owner of that company. Then registered partnership, you have more than 15% share in capital or profit. Body of individuals, association of persons, more than 15% capital, profit or property. For the registered trusts, you have authors, trustees, beneficiaries having 15% or more interest. Fine. So these are the important limits in case of beneficial owners. After that, we have CKYC-R also, that is your central KYC registry. And how the question can be asked here? Directly, they will ask you about the timeline. So the timeline here, you can see for the individual accounts, it is 1st January 2017, and for your entities, fine, other legal entities, it is 1st April 2021, and the KYC information should be uploaded within 10 days of the commencement of account based relationship. Next we have some important personal account you can say aspects. First of all, let's go with the blind person. So blind person can open the account. There is no legal bar for opening the account. When the branch manager is satisfied, he may allow a blind person to operate, or by herself or by a next of kin of the blind customer after taking the letter of authority. So this question can be asked, that letter of authority is issued under which of the following accounts? So persons having you can say some visual impairment, if they are opening the account, for them LOA is required. Entries and balance must be made up to date in the passbook each time there is a transaction, and should also be read out loud to the customer. Then account of the minors, what you have to remember, although 18 years is the age, but for the banking operation 10 years is the right answer. For the case of HUF, Hindu undivided family, simply stated, it is just for the business. Fine. So the business family who is there in India, for them we have a special account, that is HUF. And why it is there? So that we can go with the directions which are mentioned in the type of account. So HUF, always remember, the manager or the karta will be the eldest son. Fine. So here you can see that the eldest female of the family can also be the karta in HUF. Normally what we say, that the members of family are called co-partners and the eldest male child will be the manager of karta, but the amendment states that female can also be the karta of your HUF. Then partnership firm, what is important, where it is defined under the Indian Partnership Act. For LLP, the most important thing is that it must have 2 designated partners and they must obtain DPIN, that is your designated partner identification number. After that, what do we mean by small limited liability company? So small LLP simply states that the contribution of a particular entity does not exceed 25 lakh and turnover does not exceed 40 lakh. Then you will say that it is a small LLP. Within 25 lakh, if it is the contribution, then we can say that it is just a small LLP. Fine. Okay. Yes. Next we have the other types of organizations. Fine. The types of accounts we have. Fine. The types of organizations only. So accounts of other customers like your companies. So companies are 2. public limited and private limited. When we talk about the most important ones, public limited, minimum of 7 members, fine, there is no upper limit. For private limited, your minimum number is 2 and maximum is 200. So 7 to unlimited in public and 2 to 200 will be in your private. Next important aspect which you should remember is your trust. So whenever you talk about trusts, what all is important? The person for whose benefit the confidence is accepted is known as beneficiary. Like we have seen a trustee beneficiary relationship between the bank and the customer. Like that, here also you will have the same. Trust deed is mandatory, fine. Cooperative society, what you should remember, the account is to be used only for the funds related to your cooperative society, nothing else you can use the funds for. Then government and public bodies, the most important thing, account opening form must be signed by the authorized officer. So AO must sign the account opening form here, and the specimen signature card signed by the authorized officer is also taken up while opening the account here. LEI, simply stated, it is one of the identification technique via which we identify the transactions happening across the globe. So legal entity identifier, 20-digit alphanumeric code used to uniquely identify parties to financial transactions worldwide. So 20-digit alphanumeric code that you should remember. And when we talk about the entities, they can obtain LEI from any of the local operating units, LOUs, accredited by the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation, that is GLIF. And in India, we have the same functions performed by Legal Entity Identifier India Limited, that is LEIL, which is a subsidiary of Clearing Corporation of India Limited, CCIL. Fine. Next, we have the LEI. What is a particular exposure as on 30th April 2025, which is important. So 5 crore and above up to 10 crore will be the right answer here if a question is asked. Next, we have the types of borrowers. Pardanasheen women, those women who are under the VL, fine, they their identity is not possible, fine, it is difficult to identify them. And when we talk about such cases, how you will be going through the entire process, so possibility exists that the play may be improper and undue influence over her being raised, or even denial of the identity will be there, and that is the sole reason why we do not consider Pardanasheen women to have a account opened very easily. Fine, there are certain ways. So illiterate person, next, if you have one illiterate person and they want to open an account, if they have hands, then thumb impression will be there. If not, then foot thumb will be there for the illiterate person. Proprietorship firm, we have already seen. Partnership firm, done. Then we have the Hindu Succession Act. Here the HUF will be discussed. This is done. Now the most important one, the table, when we talk about the important guarantee coverage. So CGTMSC, you all know that the maximum coverage provided, the loans which are there, fine, collateral free loans up to 10 crore will be there under the CGTMSC framework. And when I talk about this particular activity, that what will be the maximum extent of guarantee coverage for various categories. So for micro enterprises, it will be 85% up to 5 lakh, 75% above 5 lakh to up to 50 lakh, and above 50 lakh to 500 lakh, it will be again 75%. So as the amount increases of the loan, you will see that for the micro enterprises, the guarantee coverage decreases. So 85, 75, 75. For MSCs located in northeast region, UT of J&K, Ladakh, 80%, 80%, 75%, 90% throughout for the women entrepreneurs, or the MSc is promoted by Agniveers, 85% throughout for the SC/ST entrepreneurs, PWDs, or the MSCs included or situated in the aspirational districts or the ZED, zero effect defect certified MSCs. All other categories, 75% will be the right coverage amount. Okay, so next we have the important thing based on the turnover method. Fine, the tables are the most important ones here. In Tandon first committee, what is the benchmark? Working capital gap. Tandon 2, the benchmark is total current assets. Tandon 3, the core current assets will be the benchmark. and the margin, always remember, will be 25%. Bank loan or the bank finance will stand at 75%. Only the difference is your benchmarks. Then we have formula for the debt to service coverage ratio. It is net profit plus depreciation plus interest on term loan divided by the interest plus installment. And what is the ideal DSCR? It is 1.25 to 1.5. Mostly we say beyond 1.5 is the ideal one. Then MCLR versus EBLR, the important aspect here for our exam. MCLR is the internal benchmark, EBLR is the external benchmark, which includes the repo rate. And it was recommended by the committee headed by Dr. Janak Raj. And MCLR, it is being included after replacing your base rate mechanism, the bank base rate mechanism of 2010-16. Okay, so what is most liquid, who is most volatile? So EBLR is more volatile as compared to your MCLR. Next we have CRILC, the Central Repository of Information of your large credit. So always remember the limit, fine, the limit is very important here, which stands at 50 million, fine. Any particular entity having the exposure beyond 50 million, they must report the same to the Central Repository of Information on Large Credit. So it is just a repository, nothing else. Okay, not a CRA, not a CIC, it is just a repository. Then CERSAI, again, it is being licensed under which act? You should know that. So licensed under Companies Act 2013, and when we talk about which section, it is section 8. After that, the important aspect is the nature of ownership, freehold, leasehold. So for freehold, we have the tenure is forever, and leasehold, mostly there is a fixed tenure, fine. For a fixed tenure only, you will be holding a particular property on lease. Next we have the LTV ratio, which is important for our exam when it comes to the gold ornaments. So loan against the gold ornaments, we have the updates in June only, and question can be asked. So the maximum LTV ratio in respect of consumption loans against the eligible collateral shall not exceed the LTV ratio, that everybody knows. And when you talk about the bullet repayment loans, they can be availed for only a time period of 12 months. What about the LTV, which is important? So always remember, maximum LTV is 85% for the consumption loan amount less than 2.5 lakh. Between 2.5 to 5 lakh, it is 80%. Beyond 5 lakh, it will be 75%, the LTV ratio, fine. What is LTV ratio? Simply stated, if your collateral, fine, if the value of your gold ornament is, let's suppose, 100. So what is the maximum loan you can get if you want to, let's suppose, have a loan of beyond 5 lakh, that is 6 lakh, then what will be the maximum loan amount? 75% of this 100, that is 75 rupee worth of loan. Next we have the important aspects based on the weights. So a loan cannot be given against the security of pure gold, raw or bullion gold. RBI advised the banks that while granting advances against the security of specially minted gold coins sold by them, banks should ensure that the weight of the coins does not exceed 50 grams per customer. So that is the weight, the maximum weight prescribed by the RBI. Amount of loan to any customer against the gold ornaments, gold jewelry, gold coins weighing up to 50 gram should be within the board approved limits. Then we have the bullet repayment 12 months that we have seen. Yes, this is done. The amount should not exceed 2 lakh. For MSMEs, what is the limit? Let's just revise again. For micro, the investment limit is 2.5. Small, it is 25, and 125 for medium. Turnover should be not more than 10 crore in micro. Small, it is 100. 500 is for the medium. So 2.5, 25 and 125, the investment limits. When we talk about the turnover, it is 10, 100 and 500 for the turnover. Then delayed payments, you have MSME Samadhan for delayed payments if there are any. When you talk about the MSMEs, and TRADES, the trade receivables discounting system is specifically designed for the MSMEs. Next, we have the extent of currency coverage, which we have seen in the previous slides. Fine, and that is what you should remember. SHGs, what is the basic definition? The member in the group should not exceed 20, and when we talk about beyond 20, what will happen? Registration becomes compulsory. Fine, beyond 20 it can be done, but the registration will be compulsory then. Always remember, it is having a limit, which was asked in IFS exam also. In difficult areas like desert, hills, etc., it may have just 5 members. So this you should remember, 5 members. Then what are the drawing powers of SHG? So first dose 6 times of the existing corpus of 1 lakh, whichever is higher. Then we have second dose 8 times of the existing corpus, or minimum 2 lakh, whichever is higher. Third dose minimum of 6 lakh, and the other, you can say, delegating agencies can also find a specific limit, but it should be minimum 6 lakh. Beyond 6 lakh will be the fourth dosage. So 6 times of existing corpus, or minimum 1 lakh we start, and above 6 lakh we can go till the fourth tranche or the fourth dose. The repayment for the first one 24 to 36 months, 36 to 48 for second, 48 to 60 for third, 60 to 84 for the fourth dose. Then we have the post credit follow up. One question was asked, so field visit at fortnightly basis must be done. Now let's move on to the types of ATMs. Fine, we have different types of ATMs here. So on-site ATM, the ATM which is there within the premises of the bank. Off-site ATM, beyond the premises of the bank. Work site, within the offices of a particular governmental department. Fine. Mobile ATM, ATM on wheels, you can say, which is quickly accessible. Micro ATM, mostly we find for the banking correspondents, or for that matter, that particular machine which you find within the counter of a bank. White label ATM, simply stated, it is for the NBFCs. Fine. Then we have the brown label ATM. The third party is involved while delivering the services of ATM to the bank. Pink label, specifically for the women beneficiaries. Then yellow label, orange and green. Yellow is for e-commerce, orange is for share and stock market, green is for agricultural transactions. Then we have bank computerization, the important aspect here. The concept of bank computerization practically started during 1980 to 81. In the year 1983, committee was set up under the chairmanship of the then Deputy Governor, that is C. Rangarajan. Then the important aspect is the topology. So the star topology is simply, what do we mean by star topology? In star topology, the central node is often the master. Each of the other nodes is joined to the master by separate links. It cannot handle large traffic, as every transaction has to pass through the central node only. If one node fail, it will not affect the network. So whether a particular node will be affected and it will ultimately bring down the overall topology or not, that is the question which has been asked in 2023. And for our examination, they can repeat that what is the basic definition for star topology. Next, for the BPR, that is business process re-engineering, the BPR helps banks to achieve the following task. Mostly we have the help provided to the bank to realign the existing business processes in tune with the benefits provided by the new technology platform. So always remember, new technology platform is there to help the bank in taking advantage of the best business practices. That is also one of the major highlight of your business process re-engineering, the BPR. After that, what is more important is your data warehouse. How the things pan out here is the point which we must understand. So operational system is there. Then we have one flat files, one particular folder of flat files also. When we club all the operational system with the flat files, we go towards the ETL, that is extraction, transformation and loading. And this is redirected towards your data warehouse, which includes metadata, summary data and raw data. And from here only you will have various analysis. The reporting mechanism will start. So OLAP analysis, reporting as well as data mining will start from the redirected version of data warehouse. Then we have another important topic here, which is based on the types of your cables. Fine. So the most important type is your terrestrial cable only. So terrestrial cable, when we talk about the first one, it is twisted pair. So twisted pair consists of two insulated copper wires only, widely used in place of parallel wires to minimize the risk of crosstalk. And these are useful for connecting the terminals to computers up to a distance of 150 meters. So that is very, very important for our examination, the distance, that is 150 meter. Coaxial cable, so it consists of inner copper core held in position by circular spaces, and the most important point here will be cable can carry digital signals at very high rates, that is 500 megabytes per second. That is also important. After that, when we talk about the microwave systems, what all is important? So these systems are using the high frequency radio signals used in telephone, television transmission. Radio waves are modulated to carry the information which is there in the particular setup. The microwave signals may also be passed on to the communication satellites as well. So what are the communication satellites? Simply stated, you should know two terms here. One, the communication satellites are very much popular because of the speed. Secondly, what do we mean by transponders? So transponders, satellite is fitted with the transmitters and receiving antennas, and these antennas are known as the transponders. Next, we have the network scenario in India for the major networks. The most important aspect will be the committee. So the Committee on Communication Network for Banks, set up in 1987 in our country, headed by T.N. Annantharam Iyer. So he was the executive director of Reserve Bank of India that time, and in addition to whatever the particular commission was, Bangalore and Hyderabad were also connected to Chennai through the remote PADS BankNet. Apart from your Bangalore and Hyderabad, what all cities were included? Commissioned in 1991, the BankNet. What is BankNet? It is just a packet switch X.25 based network with the nodes at Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai and Kolkata. So these four metropolitan cities, everybody remember. Beyond that, we have a particular switch in your Bangalore and Hyderabad as well, who are connected to Chennai through the remote pads. Then we have the SOC, that is your Security Operations Center. So Cyber SOC, one terminology is there in the syllabus. What is that? Simply stated, how the internet is moving across various servers. Fine. So we start the setup with the internet, and we have a perimeter firewall here with the switch on one side, router on the another side. Whenever we talk about the mobile network, and based on the mobile network, we have one quarantine network as well. So mobile networks, you have the guests, tablets and phones. Quarantine network, you will find malicious user, rogue devices or non-compliant devices as well. So these are on the one side of the firewall. Another side will be having the employee network, which includes printer, VoIP, then VoIP phone. Then we have the employee, the host, security. After that, data center plus SOC tools. Here lies the security operations center. So PCI and non-PCI 2 will be there, and security tools along with the data collection for the servers will be there in your web content filtration mechanism. Next, we have the particular difference between UPI, UPI 2.0 and NASH. So simply stated, UPI is what? Unified Payments Interface, real-time mobile-based instant bank-to-bank payment, launched in 2016. Everyday payments, whatever you do, transferring money, paying the merchants, QR payments, they are here part of UPI only. UPI 2.0 launched in August 2018, upgraded version of UPI, and it includes the credit or the OD accounts as well. Earlier, overdraft accounts were not a part. Then we have National Automated Clearing House, that is NASH. It is a bulk electronic clearing system for high volume repetitive transaction. And what are the examples here? So recurring payments will be done under your NASH setup, EMI, SIPs, and your salaries, pensions, utility bills, etc. After that, two important aspects are BBCPU and BBPOU. CPU is what? It is simply the Bharat Bill Payment Central Unit. So NPCI has been authorized by RBI as the BBPCU. So always remember who is the BBCPU in our country, NPCI, and Bharat Bill Payment Operating Unit. Your BBPOU is an entity that is authorized by the RBI, and it can be a bank or a non-bank as well. This question has been asked that whether non-bank can be your BBPOU. So yes, that will be the right answer. Next, Meghraj. What do we mean by Meghraj? Megh is what? Just a cloud. So from there we can directly remember the characteristics of Meghraj. So to leverage and reap the benefits of your cloud computing, Government of India launched the ambitious project known as Meghraj. And when we talk about what is the nodal ministry, so Ministry of Electronics will be the nodal ministry. It has developed two policy publications. One is for JAIIB Cloud Strategy, Strategic Direction Paper, and another is JAIIB Cloud Adoption and Implementation Roadmap. When we talk about the services offered, you will be having PaaS, that is your platform as service, IaaS, that is your infrastructure as service, and software as a service as well in SaaS. Then e-Rupee, what is e-Rupee? Launched in 2021 by NPCI. It is a QR code or SMS string based e-voucher delivered to the beneficiary's mobile. And when we talk about the stakeholders in the e-Rupee ecosystem, you will find the major stakeholders as your issuer bank, that is the issuer, the bank who shall initiate the request to create the e-Rupee, and the sponsor will be your corporate, state or union government department for that matter, when we talk about the governmental departments. Yes. Okay, so voucher will be there. Then what is the difference between e-Rupee and UPI? So e-Rupee specifically, it is one-time cashless and contactless payment mechanism. UPI is the application for your receipt as well as payment of money. It is e-voucher, e-Rupee. UPI is application used for receipt or payment. RBI operates e-UPI, NPCI operates their UPI. E-Rupee vouchers can be redeemed at service provider counters. UPI is used only for receipt or payment of the money. Then when we talk about the difference between the strategy, and what are the essential strategies, the essential mitigation strategies for business continuity. So application whistling will be to control the execution of unauthorized software, patching applications to remediate known security vulnerabilities, configuring the Microsoft Office macro settings to block the untrusted macros. Application hardening will be done to protect against vulnerability functionality, and that is from where one question was asked. See what all is being done and why it is done. This is what we must remember from this table. Restricting administrative privileges to limit powerful access to system, patching operating systems to remediate known security vulnerabilities, multi-factor authentication, why it is there? To protect against risky activities and credential theft. So two-factor authentication also lies here only. Then we have daily backups to maintain the availability of uninfected critical data. Okay, now let's see the important difference when we talk about the fintech, regtech and suptech. So fintech is financial technology, regtech regulatory technology, and suptech is the supervisory technology. What is the main use of your fintech? It is just for the customers and financial service providers. Regtech, as the word says, regulatory technology for the banks, NBFCs as well as fintechs. Fine. So fintechs versus techfin. I hope everybody knows fintech is what? Some financial institution is developing a tech. Via that tech, you are growing your technological base, the digital base. Suptech, supervisory technology, the regulators will be involved like RBI and SEBI. What is the purpose of fintech? Innovation in financial service, compliance and risk management is for the regtech. Suptech, regulatory supervision and data analytics. So always remember, data analytics form a part of your suptech. Focus area for fintech is customer service. Regtech is automation of the regulatory compliance, and monitoring will be the final focus area of suptech. Example of fintech: UPI. Then we have payment, the Paytm, Grow app. Regtech, your KYC automation, AML automation. Suptech, RBI's data analytics portal. Then a golden rule, when we talk about the ethics, so moral principle known as the golden rule has been espoused by many humanists, which otherwise is also known as the ethic of reciprocity. Whatever somebody is doing, you are also replying based on whatever knowledge you have. So three golden rules of ethics. First one, everything you want others to do to you, you should do to others. Reciprocate that. Do not do to others that you do not wish them to do to you. Do not do anything to others which, if done to you, cause harm to you. So these are the three golden rules. So always remember them. Then we have business ethics versus business values. So ethics refers to the guidelines for conduct that address the questions about morality. Business simply refers to the values, refer to the business ideas, the ideals, principles which help in making judgment of what is more important. Moral principle system, business ethics, the thinking is induced via the values. Definition, what is morally correct or incorrect in a given situation is your business ethics. But values, what we want to do or achieve, that is the core value. Always remember, whenever we talk about a company or a business, we say that these are our core values. Nobody says these are the core ethics, right? So business ethics, it indicates magnitude of rightness, wrongness of one's options, and business values indicate the level of significance. Okay, so this was it for your session. I hope that you were able to remember most of the topics which we have discussed. Now, since only few hours are left for our exam, you should keep on revising the most important topics from this session plus from the Maha Marathon which we have conducted. Along with that, the final revision session as well. Finally, I want to wish you the best of luck for your examination. Sail through with the margin, that is what we are expecting from all of you. And when we talk about the ideal score, do not go with any preconceived notion in the examination hall. All the best.